Are you a coach or a healer looking for tips on how you can go out there and run a successful virtual summit that is not only going to help you generate leads for your coaching or your healing business, but a virtual summit that's going to help you make money? Well, if that's the case, then this video is for you.
We all win when we all win. We all win when we all win.
Hey there, my friend. I'm Super Sid, the Marketing Shaman, and I help coaches and healers create their first or next 10K payday where they go out there and generate $10,000 for their coaching or their healing business in 30 days or less using a profitable presentation. And in today's video, we're specifically going to be talking about 5 tips that you can use to go out there and not only run a virtual summit, but run one that's going to be very, very successful. We're going to specifically be talking about what a virtual summit is, and then we're going to break down 5 of the most important tips that you can use to go out there and put on a virtual summit that is going to help you go out there and reach a 10K payday in your coaching or your healing business. Without any further ado, let's head in to this video. So first things first, what is a virtual summit and how can coaches and healers use virtual summits to go out there and ultimately make more money for their business? Well, what a virtual summit's going to be is it's basically going to be an online seminar. You know, an online seminar, those seminars where you used to go to and ultimately watch somebody on stage talk about specifically how they could have a solution or solve a problem. Think about people like Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Brendan Burchard here. There's a lot of people that have done seminars, but it's not just those people that you see today. Seminars have been done for a very, very long time. Think of people like Jim Rohn back in the 70s and the 80s, who was Tony Robbins' coach and so on and so forth. But ultimately, them being able to go on stage and basically talk about a specific topic that could help the people in the audience. So ultimately, what a virtual summit's going to be is going out there and doing that virtually, where you can go out there and ultimately through creating a summit that is going to be on a virtual stage. This is where you can basically put on a summit where you are interviewing people and people are answering your questions or ultimately talking to you around a specific topic or theme that summit is going to be around. What this can really do is ultimately get a lot more eyeballs on the people who are running the summit, because it's going to allow you to do is ultimately get the people that are at the summit to be promoting that summit, which is ultimately going to be the summit that you are running. This is going to help you get a lot of eyeballs on you, which is ultimately going to not only help you get a lot of eyeballs on you, help you level up in the marketplace, be seen as more of an authority, but ultimately get a lot of leads that are ready to start getting your help. Before I break down the 5 specific tips that's going to help you go out there and create a successful virtual summit, I want to remind you to subscribe to this channel. I'm putting out new and exciting videos every single day showing coaches and healers how they can go out there and create and reach their first or their next 10K payday where they generate $10,000 in 30 days or less. Make sure to click that button below and subscribe. All right, tip number 1 in regards to having a successful online summit. And the first tip is going to be a theme. We want to have a theme for our online or our virtual summits because we want our summits to all be talking around the same thing. We're going to be bringing a lot of people and a lot of interviews to this summit that people are going to watch. And we don't want these interviews to be random around random things. We want our theme of our summit to be all around the main thing. So say maybe you're a relationship coach and you're wanting to go out there and you're wanting to help people in regards to dating, right? Like an example of you're helping divorced people go out there and get on their first date, and you want to run a summit that's going to be all around dating, and ultimately run a summit all around the modern dating scene and how you can go out there and get on dates if you're single. Well, if you're going to be running this modern summit, what you're going to do is you're going to go out there and you want to create a theme, that is going to be around the solution that you provide. By doing this, you're going to be able to attract people, that are going to be interested around that theme. They're going to be interested around getting the help that you can provide, and ultimately when they become a lead for this summit, they're also going to become a lead for you. All right, so after we have our theme, the next thing we want to identify is who's going to be speaking at this summit. And ultimately, when I get asked this question, well, Sid, I'm going to run this summit. How in the world do I not only pick the speakers that I want to pick for this summit? How do I go out there and how do I get them? Well, it's really not as hard as you think, and I want to go over with you specifically how we do this. So the way we look at a summit, is we first want to identify where do we stand in this marketplace. And I usually try to label the people, as A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E, F, so on and so forth, kind of on this kind of labeled or chart. And then what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to identify where I fit on this label or chart And then when I'm running this summit, my goal is to go up a level and start finding people on that level and ultimately start asking those people to be involved in my summit. By doing that, this is going to not only help level me up one more level, but it's also going to help me get exposed to the people that those people that we're asking to be a part of our summit are exposed to. This would be exposed to their list, exposed to people who are following them, etc., etc. And then when they come and speak at our summit, those people or those followers and those people on their list that are going to be interested in coming to speak to your summit, and ultimately it's going to be really, really good to not only bring in awareness to who you are, but also helping you build your list as well. So ultimately, right, when we're looking to go out there and find speakers, what we want to do is we don't want to look for like the number one speaker, right, on our Dream 100, like, you know, like for somebody that just started building funnels to go out there and try to get Russell Brunson at a virtual summit might be difficult. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of people like make when they're looking to go out there and run a virtual summit and trying to get speakers, right? They'll, you know, maybe go out there and aim a little bit too high toward people who, you know, they don't really know yet, and then they're not going to find anybody that can speak at their summit. You know, I'm saying find the people that are like a level above you, get them to help you promote this summit, and then ultimately, right, you're not only going to help you have a successful summit, you're also going to be kind of getting around a higher tier, right, a group of people that are helping the same kind of people that you're wanting to help. Tip number 3, should we be doing it as a recording or should we be doing it live? And ultimately, right, you could do it either way, and either way could be successful. But what we found in the multiple virtual summits that we've ran is that we like to record our summits and then go out, right, and then take that recording and ultimately just share the recording kind of as if it was live. So ultimately, the way that we do this is we first, right, identify the speakers we want to speak, and then we schedule out those interviews. As we schedule out those interviews, we're looking to usually go out there and, you know, have these interviews a couple of weeks before the summit so we can have plenty of time to edit them out. And then ultimately, after we shoot the videos and we edit out the videos, we then just build out the summit that people are going to opt into and that people are going to purchase and that people are going to be a part of and watch. This allows us to get rid of any of the technical difficulties that come along with having a live summit, and also allows us to plan this summit around, right, the speakers' schedules. What can be very, very difficult around a live summit is ultimately getting the speakers who are going to be at that summit to be available at that specific time. So ultimately, right, by creating a recorded summit, it's not only going to be better for them, it's going to be better for you, and ultimately going to be able to create an amazing experience for the people who come to watch it. You know, I'll never forget the simplest thing that we did at one of our online summits a couple of years back. And it was like the simplest thing, the easiest thing, and to be honest with you, the number one thing that we always forgot to do that ultimately ended up doubling our attendance rate at the next summit. And what that was simply just asking the speakers to help us promote the summit. All we did is we would basically ask them to be a part of the summit, and when we would ask them to be a part of the summit, what we would do is we would get them on the interview and we would talk to them about how we were going to be promoting the summit. We would break this down. That would usually impress them, like, oh wow, that's awesome. Like, of course, they would then give reciprocity, and it was right then that we would ask them, hey, so is there any way that you can help us get this out there? Now, not everybody is going to promote it to their list, and not everybody is going to post about it, but ultimately, you know, most everybody is going to figure out a way that they can get it out there in some form or fashion. And now what we do is we are specifically asking every single speaker to promote the summit that comes in. This way, it not only helps them, it helps the summit as a whole, and the more people that we get to the summit, the more better it is for everybody. All right, here's tip number 5, the last tip, and ultimately it's around how you make sales from your summit. And no, it's not just, hey, we hop on there and we try to make sales once the summit is over. No, that's the old school way of doing it. I want to talk to you about a new way that we've been doing this that actually has been helping us quadruple the amount of sales that we've been making after our summits, and specifically, it has nothing to do with making sales at the summit at all. What it has to do with is actually running a challenge right on the backside of your summit. So usually what we'll do is at the end of this online summit, we're then going to attract all of these people, right, that had a question or wanted to learn around a theme, right, the theme that we talked about at the beginning of this video. What we then want to do is we can then schedule a challenge right on the back end of this summit that's going to happen a week or 2 weeks after the summit ends that we can then run and invite the people that come to this summit too. What this is going to allow us to do is this is going to allow us to work with the people that came to the summit during this challenge and give us the opportunity to make sales and offer them to work with us and present with them our offer to our coaching package during this challenge while we are actually working for them. And when we did it this way, right, we found that we started closing a lot more clients because they actually started trusting us because they had a chance to work with us for a couple of days during an online challenge and and built trust in knowing that we were going to be the coach that was going to be able to help. Are you a coach or a healer who's looking to go out there and make more money? Maybe you're looking to go out there and put on a virtual summit with a profitable presentation that's going to help you do just that. Well, if that's the case, then I just got done with what I call my perfect profitable presentation pack, and I want to give it to you absolutely free. It's down there in the description, and you can grab it right now. Now, what the profitable presentation pack is going to be is it's going to be everything that you need to go out there and build your perfect profitable presentation in under 30 minutes, so you can use it here in the next 30 days or less to reach your first or your next 10K payday. Again, it's down there in the description, and you can grab it right now for free. There's going to be 3 things that you get in your perfect profitable presentation pack in 2 items. That's going to include my flowchart. It's also going to include my script and my slides that you can use immediately here in the next 30 minutes to build your perfect profitable presentation, so you can use it to reach your first or your next 10K payday in 30 days or less. Just go down there in the description and grab your free copy of it right now. And don't forget, we all win when we all win. Let's go out there and make a choice to win today, not only by subscribing to this channel, but by going down there and grabbing your free copy of the perfect profitable presentation pack right now. We'll see you in the next video.